Hey everyone, if you've ever felt frustrated, overwhelmed, or just, well, totally stuck on your language journey, you are in exactly the right place today. We are going to completely flip how you view learning English. We're tossing out those heavy grammar books, the endless vocabulary lists, and definitely those stressful tests. Instead, we're going to focus on the natural, honestly effortless way your brain is actually wired to acquire language. So on one side, we have what we'll call the school way. You know it, the stressful memorization, the rigid grammar rules, sitting in those gray classrooms where we all just robotically repeated things like, "Where is the library?" Ugh, it's painful, right? We've all been there. Now, I want you to contrast that with the natural way. Think about a baby. They absorb their very first language without a single flashcard. I mean, nobody sits a toddler down for a lesson on the present perfect tense. They just listen, they absorb, and they live the language. That kind of effortless absorption, that is exactly what we want to replicate for you.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Why in the world do we study English for years, absolutely ace our written exams, but then completely freeze up when we try to just order a simple cup of coffee? Well, the biggest mistake so many learners make is treating English like it's some academic school subject that has to be analyzed, rather than a natural, living skill that's meant to be experienced.
The real answer here lies in a massive shift in philosophy. We like to call this the acquisition mindset. From here on out, I really want you to stop stressing over grammar rules. Stop asking yourself, wait, which tense am I using right now? Or how many new words did I memorize today? Actually, scratch all of that. Instead, your main goal is pure exposure. Just focus on understanding the message and genuinely enjoying the process of being surrounded by English. In fact, if you're going to ask yourself anything at the end of the day, just make it this one incredibly simple question. How much English did I listen to today? That's it. That is your brand new metric for success. Shifting your focus entirely over to listening is literally the key that unlocks fluency.
Try to think of language like a vibrant, growing plant. You can't physically grab a plant and, pull it upward to make it grow faster, right? No way. That would just rip it right out of the soil. You just give it water and sunlight, and the growth happens totally automatically. Well, English is the exact same way. Just give your brain enough understandable English every single day, and I promise you, fluency will naturally bloom.
All of this builds into what we call the baby learning cycle. Notice step 1, listen. Step 2, understand. It's only after those two that we actually get to repeating and making mistakes. As adults, we constantly try to skip the listening part and just jump straight into speaking perfectly. But trying to speak before you've listened enough, that's exactly like trying to run before you've even learned to walk.
So think of English listening like daily medicine for your brain. If a doctor prescribes you a pill to take every day, taking 10 of them all at once on a Sunday isn't going to heal you, it's going to make you really sick. Consistency is so much more important than intensity. Doing just 20 to 30 minutes of daily exposure is going to give you vastly better results than cramming for 5 stressful hours once a week.
Okay, so how do we actually put all this into practice? Welcome to Stage 1. Flood your ears. This is where we establish that listening is your absolute foundation.
In this first stage, your one and only job is to just listen. No analyzing, no memorizing. Now, you might be wondering, but wait, what if I don't understand every single word? That is completely fine. 60 to 80% is kind of the magic number here. It's the perfect zone of understanding. Look, even babies don't understand 100% of what they hear. As long as you understand enough to just follow the general meaning of a story or a video, you are in the exact perfect zone for your brain to naturally acquire the language.
To easily get that listening time in, you can use what we call the shower method. Imagine English is like water, and you're just taking a daily language shower. Think about your daily routine right now. Seriously, don't wait for some formal study time. Let English just surround your brain while you're walking a dog, cooking dinner, or commuting to work. Just create that exposure time out of the pockets of time you already have in your day.
When you do this, you essentially become a language detective. Say you're watching a movie or listening to an audiobook. Don't hit pause every 2 minutes to go check a dictionary. That instantly turns entertainment into a total chore. Instead, just watch for the enjoyment of it. Look at the characters' faces. Feel the emotions. Pick up on the context. Notice the repeated patterns. Your brain is an unbelievably powerful pattern recognition machine. It's going to naturally connect those words with their meanings if you just give it enough context.
All right, once you've flooded your ears, we transition to stage 2. Talk to yourself. Because remember, communicate first and perfection comes later.
In this stage, you're going to start narrating your daily life out loud. Keep it super simple, like, I'm making coffee, or, wow, the weather's really nice today. But here is the absolutely crucial point for how you handle those inevitable blunders you're going to make. Check out this quote. I didn't make a mistake, I collected data. This is a massive, incredibly powerful reframe. Children make literally thousands of errors when they're learning to speak, and we never call them failures, right? Just like a baby stumbling while learning to walk, every little grammatical slip-up is just your brain collecting vital data on how the language actually works. So embrace it.
To really boost your speaking skills, you can use the actor method, which is also known as shadowing. Basically, when you hear a phrase you really like, copy it immediately. But don't just repeat the words like a robot. Really act them out. Copy the rhythm, the speed, the facial expressions, and even the hand gestures of the native speaker. Language is all about real human communication and emotion, not just flat words on a page. And bonus, the more emotion you use, the deeper those words are going to stick in your long-term memory.
And that beautifully sets up stage 3, real conversations. Let's look at building effortless automaticity using some modern tools.
Your ultimate goal here is effortless English, not perfect English. Having regular, low-stakes chats builds rapid recall, which we call automaticity. And let me tell you, modern learners are incredibly lucky. Previous generations had to travel the world or hire super expensive tutors to get real conversation practice. Today, you have artificial intelligence. You literally have a 24/7 conversation partner right in your pocket. And the best part is, it never judges your mistakes. You can do daily diary chats, run a simulation of ordering at a restaurant, practice for a big job interview, or even just have a friendly debate. The whole shebang is entirely customizable and completely pressure-free.
To support all this amazing practice, you need to create a mini English world right around yourself. Your brain learns what it sees frequently, so go ahead and change your phone's operating language to English. Train your YouTube algorithm to start recommending English videos. Follow English-speaking creators on social media. You want to surround yourself so completely that English just naturally becomes the default background noise of your everyday life.
Now as we start to bring all this together, let's unlock the 1,000-hour secret. Fluency comes from massive accumulated exposure.
I want you to completely shift your mindset away from counting how many grammar lessons you finished and start tracking your hours of exposure instead. Let's just do the math for a second. If you spend just 1 single hour a day actually enjoying English, like listening to podcasts, watching a cool show, or chatting with an AI, that is over 365 hours of exposure in just 1 year. That sheer volume of understandable input literally and physically changes your brain's neural pathways.
So here is a highly actionable, totally screenshot-worthy daily routine that you can start using tomorrow morning. Do you notice what's missing here? 0 grammar drills, 0 vocabulary flashcards. It is just pure, meaningful exposure. You listen to something simple in the morning, naturally narrate your day to yourself, pop on a good podcast during your commute, watch something fun in the evening, and then, as you're falling asleep, just try thinking about your day in English. It's so simple, it's genuinely enjoyable, and it is incredibly effective.
When you stick to a natural routine like this, you are absolutely going to hit some magical milestones. You'll start noticing the signs of real, authentic language growth. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you'll hear a sentence and just understand it, without having to translate it back to your native language first. You'll catch yourself thinking in English. You'll drop words into conversation that you never consciously studied, just because you absorbed them in context. And honestly, best of all, listening is going to stop feeling so tiring.
Which brings us to the real emotional core of everything we've talked about today. Language is not built by force. Language is grown. Really let that sink in for a moment. A child doesn't sit at a desk forcing language into their brain with sheer willpower. No. A child lives language. They experience it. If you treat English like a seed and you just water it every single day with enjoyable listening and fearless speaking, it will naturally flourish.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. Are you ready to stop studying English and finally start living it? Trust the process. Embrace every single mistake as totally valuable data, and above all else, just enjoy the journey. Because the moment you stop forcing it, well, that's exactly when fluency begins.